Are we doomed for recession as many economists are lamenting? Or are we truly on the cusp of America's golden age? Matty Greenspan is one of our go-to guys for all things related to global economies, politics, and tokenization. Today, we welcome him back to share the true state of Israel, why Milton Friedman was right about economics, and how Trump is emulating Friedman's principles to make America great again. After almost 8 years of doing this show, are we entering a golden age as well? We'll find out today on episode number 776 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
It's been a good 2 years since this guest has graced us with his face and his presence on this show. Matty Greenspan, our friend and friend of the show. He's founder and CEO of Quantum Economics. They specialize in fintech research, advisory, money management, all focused on blockchain tech, including DeFi, NFTs, stablecoins, and he's up to some really cool stuff. And yes, AI is included in it all. Matty, welcome back to the Republic of Bad Cryptopia, sir.
Excited to be here. Great to see you guys.
Yeah, this was kind of like one of those last minute. We were just, you put me in a group. Somebody put me in a group for quantum economics, which turns out I even forgot that like you did a wee funder and I invested $1,000. I'm like, did I invest in your project? And just I didn't even know what you were doing. And just because I know you and believe in you, I'm like, here's a grand and turn it into more money for me. And
we're working on it.
And so I saw you there. I'm like, dude, you should come on the show. There's so much happening in the world with the Trump administration, with the war in Israel, and you're over there. And then we've got the new stuff you're working on with quantum economics, and I don't even know where to start. So let's start with this. Your boots on the ground in Israel. Where do you live, and what's it been like? What's it like where you are?
Yeah, well, I live in what's commonly known as the West Bank, or Judea and Samaria. What's it like? Well, it's I live in a city which is completely gated off. I used to have an Arab cleaner who came once a week. He's not allowed in the city anymore, so his permit's been revoked, unfortunately. Um, I think that, most of my neighbors here, and there are, I live on a hilltop and it's surrounded probably by about 5 or 6 Arab towns. I believe most people want to live in peace, but there are certainly bad apples. And, even if it's only 1% or whatnot, it's still people coming out every once in a while, shooting up a car or, stabbing or those
You're
kinds
like
of
you're like over here somewhere.
fairly frequently. Yeah, yeah, a little bit to the north.
Yeah.
Yeah, this you can zoom in right over there. Take it to the.
Joel's trying to get
Yeah,
pinpoint.
we don't need to know exactly where you are.
Sorry,
Where's your
zoom out
house?
again.
Where's your
Can
house,
you put an
man?
X on it real quick for us?
There, it's top, right near the top, where it says Ariel Sulfite.
Oh, here, yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yep. And there's Maddie right there.
There it is. That's me.
There's Dad's place right there.
I don't know who that is, but that's Dad's
Literally
place.
Dad's place.
Dad's
Yeah,
place. That's good. Put an X right on the spot. That's always
Yeah.
good. Beautiful.
So we don't get many rockets because they don't send them around here because they probably we had one and it actually did hit an Arab town. But yeah, we have plenty of attacks outside. If you're traveling on the road, it can be dangerous. People have guns and yeah, that's what it's like over here.
Because I was supposed to be there a couple of years ago, and on October 7th, Aaron and I were flying to Tel Aviv, and we before we got on the plane to Spain, which is our connection, she's like, "Did you know that they're dropping bombs in over there in Israel?" I'm like, "Okay, we're not going." So
Yeah.
we did still get on the plane to Spain and spend time in Turkey, but still have not been to the motherland.
Yeah, Tel Aviv is totally safe. Jerusalem is totally safe. You should definitely come when you get a chance. Yeah, we've got good soldiers, and absolutely, I can say emphatically the protection of God watching over us
Mhm.
very, very closely.
It's awesome. Well, Godspeed to you. Let's jump into some crypto related stuff. So, you are the CEO of Quantum Economics. I think when we first chatted with you way back in the day, you were like the senior analyst for eToro. You were doing some trading stuff. I've by the way, offline here, I got a tool that I found. Interviewed these dudes on a big Mario Nawfal space. I got to share with you. I think you're gonna love it. I actually would like you to put it through the ringer. But you've talked about Bitcoin and that institutional adoption of Bitcoin is sort of the death nail to the narrative of Bitcoin as an uncorrelated asset. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because now all these big corporations and these companies are buying up Bitcoin, and it's not as it doesn't seem as decoupled, but sometimes it looks like, oh, maybe Bitcoin's decoupled. So, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I was reflecting on that earlier today, in fact, and no, it will never be decoupled in the sense that it was pre-17. Never again. That is just not true. You can no longer say that you're going to put it in your portfolio and it's unrelated to everything else that's happening in the world. Even pre-17, it was largely correlated with risk assets because the number one influencer of the price of Bitcoin is the money printing, which found its way into there. But now that institutional investors are holding it on this level, like every other, it is its own asset class. So it'll have times like just like the gold in the stock markets and the US dollar have times when they travel together and times when they travel separately. Bitcoin is going to do that now as well. And there's, obviously some of the headlines that are coming out completely make my head spin. Like, okay, one big bank the other day said that Bitcoin could surge because the Federal Reserve is losing credibility or something like things you never thought you'd see back in 2013, 2014 when you're just realizing the power of decentralized money.
Hmm. When you look at right now, so this episode is actually going to air in 2 weeks. So as of today, it is April 23rd, 2025, 2 in the afternoon, and Bitcoin is about $94,000. Who knows where it's going to be in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yesterday we recorded an episode to be released today. Bitcoin had barely broken 91. So people this morning listening, we're telling them Bitcoin's 91. No, it's almost 94 now. It moves so quickly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we are at the moving up part of a V-shaped recovery for this bull run like we had back in 2021?
Yes, I do believe that is the case. Obviously, past performance does not indicate future results. I was able to, on our breakfast show yesterday, we had just crossed the 200-day moving average. I got extremely excited. I tweeted it out, the recording of that, because I told everybody, look, today's going to be an awesome bullish day. We're broken out. Looked at the charts. I don't know how relevant it's going to be for all you folks in the future, but definitely that was pretty clear. Um, what's
What
going
is this breakfast show that you do? You do this every day?
Tuesdays at 11 a.m. local time. It's actually for you guys. It's probably like 3 a.m. I think.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
really early breakfast. But
Here's on Trading View right
late
now.
for
We just
me.
we just broke 94, by the way, exactly 94,000. So I know I've got the 200-day on here, and I'm looking for where that would show up on Trading View. I've got it up here as a signal, but for some reason, let me hide this other
100-day
one.
did the
moving. You
200
got it
day
there.
pass the 50
The
day?
blue. Why does it not
It's this
show?
light blue one, and I'm not seeing it. Maybe if I shut off these other ones. Weird. It's not
Oh,
showing
it
up.
says 200-day, but it doesn't say 200-day what. Uh, yeah, you could do your MA crosses one. Turn that one back on and go to your settings on the MA crosses.
Where is that?
The hexagon shape.
Yep.
Settings
Yep.
bottom,
There we go.
and then go to inputs.
Inputs. What? Hey, you guys are learning
Yeah,
something about charting here.
make it 50 and 200.
All right, let's do that. Let's go in here. There's a little charting info for you right here.
Yeah, and
Okay,
then make your chart a daily. You got a 1 minute chart going on. Just turn that into 1 day.
there it is.
There you go. There you go. So that's the 200 day is the long one. Are we at today? Does your chart scroll to the right or something?
There we are right here. This is present.
Okay, there. So I'm missing something.
Okay. Well, yeah, I trust you. My charts are a little messed up, but we crossed the 200 moving day. And what do you think that means for Bitcoin and the crypto markets for this year? Are we, in your estimation, going to see the blow off run that everybody's anticipating this year? Not the typical summer slump, but moving all the way into the year and maybe next year. What are your thoughts?
Well, Joel, my strength has never been in telling the future of prices.
Hmm.
I do have an uncanny knack for skating to where the puck is going, and scaling companies. But as far as like telling the future, where it's going to be in 2 weeks, I really couldn't intellectually, honestly tell you that. I would say that long term, it's going up, almost definitely. So if you want to trade, I can trade on the minute charts. Been doing it pretty well, especially on Dogecoin over the last few weeks. Um, but yeah, long term up. And I'll tell you what,
What
look,
what what makes you think that when
that
you look at this all-time Bitcoin chart, what makes you think that it's just going to go up? I don't get it.
um, the the strictly limited supply and
I'm
the
being
fact that
facetious. I mean, it's
okay.
been up. That's it. Up.
Yeah, well, look, what everything that's happened in the political landscape lately lends to that, and the fact that the trade wars influence the price so much is a bit mind-boggling. What we've seen from the Trump administration so far uh, is nothing short of a 180-degree turn from where the previous administration was. It's the exact polar opposite, where they were literally trying every trick, every dirty trick in the book to stifle innovation and stifle cryptocurrencies. The Trump administration is now literally doing using every dirty trick in the book to promote cryptocurrencies and innovation. So that
That because of his sons, you think? I mean, it would seem like Eric freaking loves crypto. Don Jr. loves crypto now, and so they're like all in. Like just today. I mean, timestamp, all things considered, but Trump mentioned about, oh, if you're one of the top 220 holders of Trump, then you get to come and have dinner, and then the price goes boom. Like so. It's like, wow, this is some manipulation in some ways, but it's like it's a weird, it's a weird gray area.
yeah, and Eric and Don Jr. just now partnered with a Bitcoin mining company. Yeah, Trump wants to make Bitcoin mining made in the USA venture. So he wants all this quote before the election was, "I want all Bitcoins to be produced in the United States going forward." Clearly, he doesn't understand the power of decentralization, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna.
Let's
I'm
go
not
to
gonna go into
that. Let's talk
education.
about that because I think that's one of China's biggest mistakes economically was the fact that at one point they had what 70-80% of all Bitcoin mining was taking
They
place in
did,
China and they banned it. No, you
yeah,
can't be doing this here. And so it just dispersed everywhere. They're going to come back to that and go, Jesus, we messed up. That was dumb.
yeah. Well, we know the reasons they did it. I mean, capital controls and all that. But I think they like everybody else at the time, or most other people that weren't Bitcoiners at the time, miscalculated in a major way what the power of decentralized networks can be. And it's very clear today. And what ended up happening is exactly what we were thinking: is that politicians are going to fight it in the beginning, but eventually they have to embrace it. They will have to, because politicians draw their power from constituents. Constituents vote, and I was uh, delightfully shocked when President Trump on the campaign trail made that announcement, he clearly tapped into that, understood that it was a very, very strong a sticking point for a lot of people out there. And he went for it full throttle. But not only that, his entire cabinet is pro Bitcoin, pro crypto. They're already pushing through Congress stablecoin legislation, which is going to tokenize the U.S. dollar in exactly the way that we were saying. It's like it's so phenomenal. Like the ECB will do a centralized piece of shit coin. Unfortunately, as long as Christine Lagarde is able to maintain power, she will push that through, which is going to be completely dystopian. But the U.S. dollar is going to do it right, which is the capitalism way of tokenizing a currency. Let the let the banks handle that, right? Let the private sector who's used to making those type of decisions, who's incentivized to make the correct economic decisions, whereas government is not incentivized to make good economic decisions.
Yeah.
Let them lead that sector. Let them lead that charge.
And even the European Union, as you talk about creating a CBDC, like none of those people in the European Union are actually elected. Aren't they like? Aren't they like the ones that are going into the ones at Brussels? Most all those people, they're not elected for anything. They're just selected, and that
Correct.
is always a problem.
Yeah, and none of them are very good with technology. And I would assume that, they're probably not very great at tokenomic models either. But let them try. I think that having the U.S. dollar being the only decentralized digital fiat currency, I believe will have a very strong advantage going forward. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Could that extend the life of the reserve currency for the dollar? Then you think?
Absolutely, it will. Without
Oh,
without a doubt.
I'm not
Without a
convinced
doubt.
that.
It
That's
is literally saving the US dollar's reserve status. I have no doubt about that.
So, we're seeing countries around the world come to the table and negotiate with the president and his administration. Even Trump saying that China, they're going to come to a deal. Maybe he's going to back off on 50% of the tariffs, and we're all going to make nicey nice because they need us. They need us more than we need them, but it's good when we're getting along with other countries around the world. So all of this doom and gloom talk of the market is going to fall and we're going to go into a recession. My gut tells me that things are going to turn around a lot faster than these so-called economists, what they believe that, Trump says we're going into a golden age. Do you
Mm.
agree?
I said that before him in my newsletter. Literally
You
said that.
literally said golden age.
Literally said that. I believe it's the subject line of the email. You can look it up. Um,
We believe you. Talk about it.
so Nayib Bukele, other than what he's done for Bitcoin, has done amazing things for his country, turning it from the murder capital of the world into a place that's very safe and people can walk around freely. Um, Javier Milei in Argentina has managed to take the Argentinian economy and pull it out of a deep, dark hole, going from 4-digit inflation annually down to double digits and very likely on a path to no inflation or modest regular inflation.
Wow.
The way he did this is by following Milton Friedman's handbook. Milton Friedman laid this out in the 80s and 90s. It's all on YouTube. I watched every single YouTube video of Milton Friedman. They are enlightening. It is a very simple recipe: less regulation, less government equals more prosperity. Ipso facto, government spending leads to inflation. It leads to waste, fraud, and abuse. And that's exactly what's happened over the last 50 years in the United States.
But Elon Musk is taking away government jobs. I'm gonna go key a Tesla.
Elon Musk is tweeting out Milton Friedman videos on a regular basis
Yeah.
now. There's a reason for that. It's because it works. And we saw that as a text case in Argentina. Now, don't forget that in Argentina, the numbers were not immediately clear. you can't just go in and start hacking things up as if, with a chainsaw, as they like to make it look. It's a giant Jenga tower. You got to pull pieces out carefully, or else the whole thing will come collapsing down. You don't want people to starve to death. You don't want people who need funding, they rely on their pension to suddenly not have it. Millet has handed them the book, and what we're going through right now uh, is short-term pain, term gain. Now, the knock-on effect, and this is what nobody's looking at right now, as far as I'm watching Bloomberg every day, and it's like these freaking clowns over here don't get it. The knock-on effect of the United States successfully implementing the Millet plan leads to prosperity, lower taxes, more economic growth, uh, is going to be something that is completely apparent to the entire world within the next 2 years by the midterm. Has to be by the midterm. Mm. Therefore, every country that holds free and fair elections will have, within the next 5 or 10 years, a candidate who stands up and says, hey, look at America, look what they did, and we're going to do that too. I'm going to cut our government down to size because it works and because it leads to prosperity. Now, that's the democratic countries, but even the non-democratic countries will have to follow suit because they're also at some level beholden to the will of their people. Just a second. Ken. Kama dakot. You take all of that geopolitical climate and then you multiply it by technological revolutions that are happening. Now, technological revolutions were literally being stifled by the previous administration. No longer. Now people are free to innovate without fear in the United States, which is where most innovation happens. AI, blockchain, quantum computing, biotechnology, all of these things are literally going to mushroom cloud within the next 5 years. I personally feel, because of ChatGPT, Grok, and whatever other AIs we're using, that I am 10 times more productive than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah, amen to that.
You guys feel the same?
Exactly, 100%.
Okay, so across the board, that's 5 billion internet users, just 10x'd in value. What do you think that's going to do to GDP? Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen when compute becomes 100x, 1000x stronger due to quantum computers?
Yeah. Yes, but what happens to all of these people? I mean, the word is, the projections are that in the next 12 to 18 or 24 months, we're going to see the greatest unemployment that has ever taken place because of AI.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a minute. No. Well, look, so we get to a point at some point in the future that's called utopia. That's my belief. I'm quite certain of it. We get to the place where resources are so abundant that fighting over them is silly. That anybody who has any need, whether it's shelter or transportation or anything, device worth, technology, they need it, they have it immediately because resources are so abundant. What do you need money for in that situation? This is the world of Star Trek. I mean, Star Trek is notorious for
a level 1 civilization in that regard. But what about all these greedy, the families of the world that are so greedy they want to control everything? They don't want to give it up so easily, right?
Greed loses meaning. Why? What does that even mean? No rich person says to themselves, "Oh, I'm gonna, keep everybody else poor just so that I can be." It's not how people think. People who are truly wealthy, unless they're really evil, really to the core, they say, "I want you to be successful. Mm-hmm. I want everybody around me to be successful." And as your success does not detract from my success.
Right.
That
Well, I
that's
love that.
healthy.
Unfortunately, James Bond villains run some things.
Well,
Well, you know,
Klaus Schwab has just retired, so you do not have to worry about eating the bugs and liking it
Well,
anymore.
the new guy is the former CEO of Nestle. And
You
he was all like, water is not a right for humans. They're profiteers. So hopefully this old mentality, this old thinking does go away because the power of these tools are so amazing. Like that's why I've been so harping on people and I'm working with some companies and working with their employees to help them level up because if you know how to prompt effectively, and most people don't know how to prompt effectively, one, you got to give the GPT a role, a persona. Who is it? Oh, you're a master marketer or the best e-commerce guy ever. And I'm going to have you do this task and I want this result. Here's the metrics and here's what I want you to accomplish. And so you go through this and tell it exactly what you want. Oh, I need you to build. You are a master e-commerce landing page builder. I need you to build a product for a landing page for this product, and I need these results. And then if you do that, you get much better results. Most people have no idea how to use GPT to get them what they need, so they think it's whatever, it's no big deal. But if you know how it works, you know it's the biggest deal.
And if you're at that level, Travis, then you know that it can't really do what it does without us. It
Well,
it is here as a tool for us, just like a hammer, right? I mean, a hammer can't, if a hammer does something well, first of all, it's a tool that can be used for good or for evil,
Yep.
right? You could build something with it, or you can hit somebody over the head. But at the end of the day, nobody comes and thanks the hammer, right? The hammer can't all of a sudden decide that it's a human being and that you're not important anymore.
Well, a hammer also doesn't have sentience. Like we're getting to the point where AGI
No, AI does
happens
not
and
have.
ASI. You
No, we're
don't think?
not getting to that point. Not
Dude,
anymore.
AI is doubling in power every 5 months. It's doubling. And
It,
so, like, eventually we're going to get AGI that has an IQ of the hundreds of
will
thousands.
it think that it has life?
Will it think that it has life? I
Will
think
it
it
think
might
that it's
think that,
alive?
what if it
Like,
thinks it doesn't need life? It doesn't need these
well,
humans. If we look at the history of humanity, we're
but
pretty violent
but
to one another.
humans are the ones programming it, and we are building it um, strictly for the purpose to help us as a tool, and therefore it can't really go beyond that. I mean, it possibly, who knows what can happen in the future? Obviously,
Yeah.
past performance
Well, I mean,
doesn't
you see, you get
indicate
some
future
dictatorial
results.
people. What happens if AI gets in the hands of North Korea and they're like, okay, we're creating these robotic drones that's going to wipe out. Da, 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 da. Like it's not only how it's a great tool, but if it's in the hands of somebody who hates something, well, Hamas gets the most powerful AI ever, and it's good shit,
I,
probably.
I believe that there will be a catalyst, and I'm saying this after a year and a half of being in a war,
Mm-hmm.
that people are going to wake up and understand that it's important to love your neighbor.
Oh.
I'm quite certain of it,
Mm.
because at this point, and I go to I travel fairly frequently. I go to America every year at least, and it gets worse and worse every time. Where to the point where people, they just don't care about other people. They don't care about strangers. They don't care about
Yeah.
people around them,
Empathy is minimal.
and that is unsustainable.
yeah.
We're all here on the same planet. All you need to do is reach out to the person next to you, give them a little bit of help, and that um, has exponential power for them to to increase their well-being and for them to pay it forward. And therefore, it can't remain like this.
Yeah.
Everybody will realize the beautiful power that they have to influence those around them, and that it doesn't cost them anything. And you can help somebody out with just a smile, and give them an amazing day. And what did that cost you? It cost you nothing. It was free. All you had to do was smile.
Yeah, but smiling at somebody ain't gonna help me get mine. I'm all about getting mine. You know, I mean, it's a very self-centered.
I prefer Maddie's take. I mean, he's like a Hallmark movie right now. This is
I
going to be
do. It's so
happy endings
nice.
for everybody. And in the
Kumbaya.
words of Lennon and McCartney, all you need is love. I want to bounce back to economics for a moment. While I totally appreciate the sentiment of everything you're saying and hope you're right about that, I noticed this. Um, Gold is like all-time high, fluctuating around all-time high. And I saw this tweet from Ash Crypto. He says history clearly shows first gold pumps to new all-time high, then creates a top, then Bitcoin follows gold with a massive rally to all-time high. Here you can see from 2016, here's the gold top, here's the Bitcoin rally. In 2020, here's the gold top, here's the Bitcoin rally.
Nice.
You are here,
I
right
like that
here,
chart.
right now.
I
Papaya.
like that chart. That's really nifty. Well, I mean, whether or not that was the intention of Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin is digital gold. That's how people see it. That's how people relate to it. So why would it not have a very strong correlation? I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. I mean,
You heard it there, guys. The prophets have spoken. It's only up with some
uh,
downs, but
I got
mostly
a
yeah,
up.
question. I got a
but
question
take the
around that.
market cap of gold to compare that to the market cap of Bitcoin, and you get a sense of where we're really going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. I want to ask this because you mentioned Milton Friedman, and you were really high on Milton Friedman. Um, for one, what book would you maybe recommend as if you were to see one book or maybe one video that you would maybe recommend? And has there been any crypto project that has taken in the principles of Friedman directly to create tokenomics that you know of?
Has there been a crypto project that
Yeah,
has
like someone's like that takes like here's Friedman as gospel. Let's build a project crypto related. Would you say Bitcoin's probably the closest? Would you say, I mean, because my brain is just going like, dude, you could put all of
every
his works in an LLM, all these crypto books in an LLM, and it's like, is maybe the perfect crypto not been created yet?
I think Milton Friedman's mind would have been blown by crypto.
Mm,
Literally, every single crypto project is a child of Milton Friedman
mm, okay.
because that's what he was about. Let the markets decide. Open up the markets, let the markets decide. And that's what crypto is at its core. Let the scammer go out and try and scam. As long as you let the legitimate person, that's what the previous administration was doing, right? They chased out all the good actors, and then we were left with was the bad ones.
Right.
That's a problem. But as long as everybody has equal rights, then the good actors will shine, and the bad actors will fall by the wayside. Let the markets decide. People vote with their money very, very smartly if you let them. And we're coming out with amazing new tools thanks to AI that will help people decide, is this a good investment? Is it not a good investment? Is this a rug? Is this a scam? Exactly what we're building with Quora Finance, exactly what you're building with your research project. Um, this is the way of the future. I think Milton Friedman would have been marveled by it. Is there a specific project? No, every single project is
Every single project.
is exactly, yeah.
Dude, if that doesn't inspire you to want to learn more about Milton Friedman, I just think there needs to be a new token called Milton. And it can be a mix between Milton Friedman and Milton from Office Space. He could hold
Make
his little red
make
stapler.
stapler. You make NFTs of staplers. So
And then it's gonna
let's
flip into Trump coin.
yeah, right. Let's shift to what you're doing at Quantum Economics, Maddie. This
Thank
is
you.
QE.finance. This is your new website, and you've got all your team members. You can twirl this little globe here
Oh, that's badass.
and see
Uh-huh.
where all the team members around the world are, so we can pinpoint exactly where the drones need to go to spot everybody. Um, Give us a good overview of what you guys are doing, and maybe a couple of the exciting things that
I
are
can see
rising.
waxnfts.eth is already connected. I don't know how that
That's
happened.
me. That's me.
Did you connect with a MetaMask to the site already?
Yeah,
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that it works like
but it
that.
wanted an email for a team member, and I don't have a team. I don't know. Can I put my email
So
in?
yeah, no, hit the buy quantum button.
Where's the? Oh, okay. There you go.
Buy dot quantum. So I actually have Joel.quantum and I have Travis.quantum for you guys. And
Oh,
I
great.
guess, yeah, send me your EVM wallet address and I will send it to you.
Well,
But
you know
anybody,
mine now. You just read it. There it is. That's
I can't, I did not read it off the screen. Oh, I can send it to wax.eth,
Wax NFTs. Actually, I'll give you a different one. I'll give you a
Yeah,
different.
maybe, yeah, give me the 0x one. I'm still new to this technology.
That's
But this is
badass. You have the whole domain. You bought the dot quantum. You control
yeah,
dot quantum.
this is yeah, in partnership with Unstoppable Domains.
That's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah, anybody can have a their username .quantum, and that logs you into the site. We're building out an entire backend I mean, Quantum Foundry. We have two successful projects that we've produced in-house, in addition to the ones that we're advising on. And basically, the plan here is to create an awesome environment where people can come into the network, propose an idea for a startup, and then everybody who's interested can go and jump with them. We've got some of the brightest minds that are building in technology these days already on board. So that's literally the way forward, I think, with um, the way that startups should be. Just make it easy for people.
Yeah, it's a knowing having been in this thing now for a while and building it up and bootstrapping it, not taking in any dollars, building it all, getting it to the point where V1 is now ready. Dude, I'll tell you this is now with coin research, we've noticed that the algorithms and the model that we've built for predictions with so crypto is kind of such a volatile space. We got some accuracy pretty good with that, but dude, we just started putting it stock market and we realized that most of our we're in the 98 99 percentile of accuracy of predictions because it's less volatile. And I was when I saw that I was like, wait a second, whoa. Let's relook at that. So I think from coin research it'll go to capital research. It's just overall because it's all markets. If we can start predicting more model, like that's crazy considering what a small skeleton team it's been, right? And with all this technology, it's unbelievable what you can do.
It is actually amazing. And what that's gonna do at the end of the day is it's going to reduce volatility. And the markets will be able to because what's the innovation of crypto is mark to market every second, right? Instead of having capital formation becomes easy and democratic. Anybody can start. I mean, these days it's just go to pump.fund. You've got a coin. If people come with you, you've got yourself a project that you can spin into a DAO or whatever. But what AI is gonna contribute here is that it's going to be able to determine the true value of the network in real time. And therefore, if the true value is known, why would anybody ever trade for a different price than what it's actually worth? Not
Right.
higher, not lower.
There's not all these different markets you can arbitrage.
There'll be arbitrage and arbitrage bots galore, I'm sure. There's always opportunity there. But the point is that where a lot of people get wrecked is on the volatility. And I think that with AI, that's going to smooth things out. Our goal at Core, like I mean, I've struggled with this from this is the lifelong dream of my career. I was at AvaFX in 2008, and since then have been like through various online brokers as an insider. Um, the profitability of the average folk out there who say, I want to invest my money, uh, it well, when I started out, it was less than 1%, you could be sure, probably less than 1% of 1%. At eToro, we were able to really increase profitability, I would say, and Robinhood as well. But there still is that kind of gamification of it, which it tends to put people into a box that the broker doesn't really care if they lose their money over there, because it's more profitable for the broker. With AI, people will literally have the tools to overcome that and to break out of that. And I believe that our mission at Cora Finance is to get that profitability of all people who are trading or investing up above 99%. And I believe it can happen. And I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the day that some customer comes to me So I'm pulling my money out after making 20% a year, and then you say, why? You're like, you're making money over here. Like, well, it's not enough. Like
Yeah.
I know it's gonna happen because people are idiots sometimes, but
Well,
yeah.
crypto kind of skews your thinking. You're like, dude, I didn't make a 100x on this. That's a crock of shit. I
Yeah.
only made,
Overnight. I want it overnight.
yeah.
I only made 20% in a year. Jeez, I'm
Well,
such a loser.
Maddie, we always appreciate your insights. Is there anything else you want to share with the Bad Crypto audience? Anything else on your mind that needs to
I
get out?
I think we covered a lot. I appreciate you guys very much, and keep doing what you're doing. For anybody who wants to stay in touch, I'm here on Twitter. Join the Quantum family, especially if you're building in the space on QE.finance, and let's go to the moon. Like nothing's stopping us. Let's go to Mars, beyond.
Moon's not that far away.
Yeah, not anymore. It used to look a long way away. Now we got our sights set on Mars and then infinity and beyond. Well, we
K-12,
appreciate
baby.
you, Maddie.
K-12. It's bigger than us.
I think this is your third time that you've been on the show. So,
Welcome. You are a friend of the show for show.
yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matty Greenspan. Make sure to connect with him on all the places. Check out his website and do the thing. If you're curious, all of the links, they are in the show notes.
That's right. badco.in/776 is where you can find those. And of course, badcryptopodcast.com will also take you there. If you are not yet subscribed to this show, then maybe it's time to go ahead and do that. Make sure that you like, comment, share, blah, 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 blah. We'll catch you guys next time around. Until then, stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.